Hello, in this Google Meet, I will talk about Unit 3, Activity 3. And so if we jump into the course homepage, you'll see that I've posted a setup or an introduction to the activity in the announcements this morning. And this will be our final activity of Unit 3. And it's going to focus on landing a job or how to take those final steps in order to get a job. So we've already talked about resume writing and cover letter writing, and we've talked about how to search for and how to find jobs online. So in this activity, we're going to take that last step. We're going to go through the interview process, and we're going to talk about some of the writing skills that you might need when you get a job, and see if we can go from there. So if we click on the activity, let's see if I can make it bigger here. Okay. So again, in this activity, you will meet an avatar. So you're going to choose a personality or a person. You'll see what I mean by this in a minute. Who you're going to represent. You're going to act on behalf of that person, and you're going to try to search for a job and apply for a job and go through the interview process as that person. Okay, and you're going to submit your. You're going to have to answer interview questions. You're going to have to do some writing for me, and you're going to submit the sort of job process of finding and getting a job to me at the ending of this activity. And so if we continue down here, you'll see it says task one is meet your avatar. And so you've got all of these people here. You've got Simone, you've got Bilal, you've got Bethany, you have, whoops, you have, come on, you have Ren, and you have Josephine. So you've got, what is it, five different people. You choose one. And what you're essentially going to do is you're going to read that person's little bio here about their education, about their age, about their work experience, and you're going to act on their behalf. You're going to essentially pretend that you are that person, and you're going to go through the job process. Okay, so if you pick Josephine, you're going to answer all of the questions that you're going to have to do as we continue on here, as if you're Josephine. So you want to learn about who she is, or if you pick Bilal, you want to learn about who he is, and then you've got to find a way to get them a job. Okay, and how are you going to do that? Well, if we go down further here, the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to answer interview questions. So it says, great news, your avatar has been invited for an interview. The interview questions have been sent in advance. Prepare detailed interview answers to each interview question. Be creative and imagine and ensure and be creative and imaginative, and ensure the interview answers are polished. So remember, you're answering these questions as your avatar, not as yourself. So of course, you're going to use your words and your ideas, but you have to go up and you have to take a look. So if your avatar is Ren here, you have to use his skills and his background when you're answering the questions. So you're trying to get Ren or Josephine or Bilal, you're trying to get whichever avatar you've chosen, you're trying to get them a job. Okay. So you're going to answer the interview questions. And so here are the interview questions. Describe two experiences that have prepared you well for this new position. Explain why they have been important learning experiences. When you are faced with a problem in your work or personal life, how do you go about solving it? Explain the steps you take. In today's workplace, teamwork is essential. Describe one experience from your educational or work experience where you had to work as a member of a team. Explain the good and bad parts of working as a team. These are all typical questions. So this is good practice, because if you go to a job interview, you're probably going to get very similar questions. You're going to get a question about your experience. You're going to get a question about how you faced problems or conflicts and how you've solved them. You're going to get a question about teamwork and how you can work with others. They often ask you to describe your strengths and explain, what you're good at that you can do to help to be successful at that job. They might ask you about your values and attitudes, about, this is where you want to talk about how you're hardworking and you're diligent and you're not afraid to ask questions. And you're going to talk about your values and your skills that make you a good employee. They often ask you to describe one of your weaknesses. You got to be careful when you answer this question. You don't want to say something like, "My weakness is I work too hard." That's too obvious. That's not something you really would want to say, because it doesn't sound sincere. But you do want to give a weakness and then explain how you're working on it. And explain how you're getting better at that weakness. It's not shameful and it's not bad to admit that there's something you need to work on, as long as you can give them a good explanation about how you can improve it. And then lastly, you want to say, why do you want the job? So these are your 7 interview questions. You're going to answer these questions on behalf of one of these 5 people again. Okay. All right. What else do we have? Employee manual summary. So it says, congratulations, your avatar was hired. So they liked your answers to the interview questions. Your avatar has been on the job for 2 weeks, and there has been so much to learn. Just like all the other new employees, your avatar has been given the employee manual to read. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to open up the employee manual here. So if I open it up here, this is the employee manual. It's not very long. It's 4 pages, but you're going to read this manual. This is an example of a manual that you would have to read when you get a job, so that you would understand the company's policies and the company's requirements of you as a new employee. And so you're going to read through this manual. Sorry. All right, how can I do this? And then what you're going to do is you're going to summarize. You're going to show your summarizing and writing abilities. You're going to summarize the manual in 200 words. Use your own words. Please do not use AI. Do not use an internet website or a translator. You must use your own words, and use about 200 words to summarize the employee manual. So take out what you think is most important and summarize it. Okay. Task 3 is to revise your work. So check your spelling, your grammar, check your vocabulary and language use. Make sure that you're fully answering, for example, the 7 questions in the interview questions. Make sure that you're hitting on all of the key points in your employee manual summary. So just a reminder, go back and look over your work. And then last but not least, number 4, submit your work. And I'm going to show you in a minute here the document that you're going to fill out here. But you're going to fill out all of your work. You're going to do it on one document that I've provided you. You do have a rubric here with knowledge, thinking, application, and communication. So this is how I will grade your assignment. So you can definitely take a look here and see what I'm looking for. But if we click here, this is the actual document you'll fill out. You'll actually see it. Maybe I should have opened it up earlier. You'll see it at the very top here as well too. So if I click on that, let me just make myself a student. Okay, hold on one second. So if I click on that document, so here it is, Unit 3, Assessment Employment Related Documents. Click on that. it'll take you to the Dropbox, and then you go right here and click on the attachment. And of course, it'll ask you to make your own copy. And then if you open it, you'll see the exact same questions and the exact same tasks that I just talked about. So you're going to have to answer interview questions, and you're going to have to write an employee manual summary. So remember, you're choosing one of these five. So tell me which person you have chosen to represent. And remember, you're writing on their behalf. And then you've got the 7 interview questions. Question number 1, put your answer right here. Question number 2, answer right here. Question number 3, and of course, these expand so you can write more than just one sentence here. Question number 4, 5, 6, 7. So all 7 questions that we previously talked about, answer them directly in these text boxes, okay? And then down here, you're going to write your summary. Remember, 200 words, that's not a lot, okay? 200 words summarizing the employee manual. So summarizing the most important details. I think most of you maybe already know this already, but just to show you, if I'm typing in here, the employee manual starts with ... So if you're typing in here, I say that I'm looking for 200 words. If it's 199, 201, if it's anywhere around 200, that's okay. But just if you're curious, because you don't want to go too long or too short here, you can go and you can click Tools, you can click Word Count, and it will show you how many words you've written. So I've written 6 at this point, right? And so if you are ever looking for a word count, you can just go up. And if you're looking for a specific word count for a section of what you've written, so just go like this, and then you just go Tools, Word Count, and it'll show you. So the whole document has 271 words, and I've highlighted 6, okay? So that's just a way of checking to see if you're around 200. Okay. But yeah, you're going to answer the 7 interview questions. You're going to write an employee manual summary, and then you're going to submit it to me. And this is an assignment that I will grade. It's not like the portfolio and the journals, which are more just feedback. This one is our final Unit 3 assignment, and it will be graded. I will remind you one more time, because I think there may be some confusion with this. You're not answering the interview questions as yourself. Yes, you can think up things from your own life to help you answer them, but you're pretending that you're one of these 5 people. So make sure that you're reading. Part of the assignment here is to show that you can read one of their bios on the activity page, and then use their background and use their experience and who they are to help you answer these questions. Okay. So again, in previous activities, you've been writing your own cover letter or your own resume. This time you have to write it on behalf of someone else, one of these 5 people. If you have any questions, please let me know. Other than that, have a good week.